Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Joby, and today we're going to be working on a guitar that I actually picked up from my friend Brian. He wants to have a cheapy guitar at home, something to goof off with. He doesn't play very much, but he would like to have an electric. So I found a pretty cheap Strat knockoff the other day. We're going to see what we can do to make this thing play better. It actually plays okay when it's all together, but there's some definite problems. And the first one I want to show you is how sharp these frets are. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I can't get past the edge of the fret. That's how bad the frets are poking out. I'm sure you can hear that. But this thing is a damn cheese grater right now. We're gonna take some sandpaper, different grits, and knock down these. Look at that. I mean, it's pulling the neck just by my fingers dragging. We're gonna take some sandpaper and knock down the edge of these frets. So we're not gonna get too fancy because, like I said, it's a cheap guitar. I just wanna make it play good for Brian. So we're gonna start with some 320 wet or dry, and we're literally just gonna go along the edge of the neck. And I mean, that is literally already better. And we'll just flip the neck over and do the same with the 320. You can obviously hear how bad it is. Funny thing is, you know, like 10 years ago, I never would have done this to a guitar, and after a while, you just start realizing that they're not quite as precious, especially if you get a cheapie. So, you know, if you want to learn guitar repair of any sort, you know, go out and get a Squire or get a no-name Strat like this, and just go to work. This is also kind of rolling the edge of the fretboard a little so it'll be more comfortable to play, because I assure you no attention to detail was taken in the building of this instrument. And now we're going to change grits. Alright, so the next thing I have currently laying around is some 800, so we're going to use that. Typically I would like to go like 600 or so first, but you know what, like, big deal. Try to actually keep you guys in frame here. I'm working on a backwards phone right now. It's a little hard to see. So again, it's a cheap guitar, so if you think I'm destroying it, you know, whatever, I don't care. I know it's going to play great, and it's going to be much better than it was. There you have it. All I really care about is making the guitar comfortable for my friend. And he's not a seasoned player, so he may not even appreciate this as much as I know his hands will. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't play this neck at all in the shape it started in, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So now we're gonna move up to 1,000. Keep moving along. I'm sure you guys are getting an awesome view. But yeah, I found this guitar at Salvation Army for next to nothing, and Brian had been wanting me to find him a cheap guitar for a while, so I decided to pick it up and see what I could do with it. And I think what I'm going to do, because the pickups are trash and the electronics are trash, is probably buy like a preloaded pickguard, maybe from like Guitar Fetish or something like that. That will be good enough. Let's go up to 1,500. You guys even see what the heck I'm doing? There we go. That's like so much better, it's ridiculous. There you go, no more bad fret ends. instantaneously disgusting hands. All right, so what's next? Next, let's actually get these frets cleaned up. All right, I'm back. I've propped the camera up a little bit because that last angle was terrible at best. I've went and I've grabbed 3 different widths of masking tape: normal, not as normal, and skinny. Don't waste your time with the extra big like painter's tape because it's really so large it won't do you any good. So what we're gonna do now is just rip off strips of tape and put them around the frets to protect them. I like to just butt it right up against the fret, which I mean is what you should do. Technically, probably should have done this when I was doing the side of the frets, and you should, if you just want to take down the side of your frets. If you're worried about damaging your finish, do this first and you'll damage less of your finish. Again, like I said, I'm just trying to make it better. It was terrible. We don't want to give our friend terrible, do we? We want to give him something he is going to enjoy. So basically, kind of see what I'm doing here. I will speed this video up and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we've reached the end of our fretboard. We can't get any thinner with our tape. I could do these one at a time, but I kind of want to do a specific method. So all I'm going to do is tape this whole end off. I'm not caring. That's the last fret I'm going to be able to expose, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 5 frets we're going to have to do separately. Alright, so I hope you're still with me. The first grade we're actually going to use on these is 800, because this doesn't really need to be hit with 320 because these frets are barely played. We just want to get the heavy tarnish off of them. Alright, and now we're just going to step up to 1,000 and do it real quick. 1,500. So now I'm going to move on to 4/0 steel wool, 4 zeros, and we're just going to give it a quick polish. Now I will do this to my expensive guitars. I usually don't break out the sandpaper, maybe once a year if I've been playing the living shit out of them. Usually not even that much, just when they get really, really bad. I do tend to change my strings one at a time so the guitar stays in tune better for shows. Guitarists just don't like to have their strings all pulled off at the same time, I find. So I don't take all of my strings off very often. Maybe every 6 months, I'll completely remove everything and clean the guitar, and I will do steel wool at that point. Okay, you guys, so that's all done, and I'll show you the frets in a minute, but the first thing we're gonna do is try to knock down the finish on the back of this neck. We're gonna do that with a Scotch-Brite pad and maybe even some steel wool if the Scotch-Brite pad doesn't get it the way I want it. But basically, this is kind of all you have to do. And this is some thick finish, so the Scotch-Brite pad may not get me where I want to go. That's a lot better, but I think I'm gonna go to steel wool. So basically, you kind of just want to do this until it dulls up. Could do it for a lot longer and probably get an even better result. And we're gonna go right to the edge, so it's smooth all the way around. And that's about all I'm gonna do. But that should help out quite a bit. All right, you guys, so I thought I'd bring this over and show you in a little better light. Try to back up a little bit here. Hopefully you can see that. Again, I'm using the back-facing camera on my phone, so I don't know how good of a view you got. But yeah, those frets are smooth as glass and no longer sharp, and we knocked down a bit of the finish off the back to make it nice and smooth and comfortable to play. Probably won't do much more with this. I may create a logo for the headstock. Alright, you guys, so the pick guard and pickups came in for Brian's guitar. So I was going to install them, but unfortunately there's a bit of a problem here. And that is, this has full-size pots, and this guitar really was not built for full-size pots. So luckily I have this turd and some nice mini pots in it. So I'm going to try to snatch this pot out and replace this full-size one with a mini. Unfortunately for me, this little turd of a soldering iron I bought at a garage sale last year is not currently wanting to function. So I have to use this giant, massive, beastly, overpowered soldering iron. So yeah, let's hope I don't destroy the living fuck out of everything. Okay, we have a level of success. Okay, neck is back on. Let's see if I can fit this pick guard. Oh yeah, that fucking pick guard doesn't even sort of fit. Are you shitting me? Is it off by that fucking much? Holy shit. How much do I gotta take off this sumbitch? 1.5 feet? Holy fuck. I can't find my file. See you in a few hours. Shitty Dremel plus sanding wheel to the rescue? Maybe. Maybe not. Wish me luck, dudes. All right, that is going to work. All right, so with a little bit of American ingenuity, this pick guard now fits. Yeah. Unfortunately, the hole alignment is terabad. I don't think I'm going to be able to use one single one of the original mounting holes. Alright kids, since last we met, I filled the original holes. I have mounted the pick guard, I soldered up the input jack, and I also committed to the goddamn near impossible task of soldering a ground to a Chinese claw. Somehow, rather good I think as well. Let's smash this on the table a couple times. And then we're gonna go upstairs, put some shitty strings on it, because I still have work to do, but I wanna finish setting it up a little bit. And we'll give it a test. All right, so I hope you guys didn't think I'm really that dumb. You never string up a guitar that you've just wired until you actually fucking test and see if you wired it correctly. So, easy way to do that if you don't know is just select the pickup, plug your guitar in, turn all your knobs up, tap on it just lightly with a screwdriver. So yeah, let me throw some strings on this and I'll be back. Initial impressions, this is going to need a lot of setup work. The nut action is really high. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that on a phone camera, but the nut action is way higher than it needs to be. This will probably actually have a really nice action and play quite well with the nut action setup. Alright you guys, I'm back for one final update on Brian's guitar. Since you and I last met in the video mere moments ago, I have since removed the plastic from the pick guard. I have set the action and the intonation. I have adjusted the truss rod, restringed the guitar. I had some like really old garbagey strings on it to just get it set up. I spent quite a bit of time on the nut action, and it's made quite a difference. The action on this guitar is extremely low. It's very good playing now. And also, I created a headstock logo. And yes, that is the Buster Sword, or the Cloud Buster Sword from Final Fantasy. My co-worker Glenn, who has known Brian longer than I, said that Brian really liked Final Fantasy, so that is what I decided to go with. Anyway, you may be asking, well, how does it sound? Well, you've already been listening to it for the whole video. That track that's been playing over and over again, I apologize for that, was this guitar. And I think it sounds pretty good. The GFS pickups, guitarfinish.com, really not too shabby. The humbucker is a little dark, and I think that's because the pots are 250K, not 500. But honestly, I'd rather have the humbucker be a little dark than the single coils be extremely bright. So I am okay with that. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Really dig the headstock logo. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube about how to make your own headstock logos, but if you guys would like me to show you how, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. A lot of people on YouTube have made them before. But yeah, anyway, I would call this a success. I think Brian's going to really dig it. And I had fun doing it, and I hope you guys had fun watching along. That's it for now. As always, I appreciate you watching. Peace. Take it easy.